Salutations and welcome to the Manabar Video Game Podcast on January 1st, 2020, New Year, new everything.
It's the future now.
Woohoo!
We made it.
This is episode 36, and thank you for joining us. It's going to be a great year. Already making a lot of changes.
Yeah? How so?
New logo.
Yep.
I have a new nickname.
Yes.
Officially.
Is he nice?
There's going to be a new YouTube intro coming up soon.
Nice.
That
I love
Andy's
YouTube.
in the middle of creating for those people who do the podcast on YouTube. And just a reminder to everybody, if they have not checked it out yet, you can watch our 2019 Video Game Awards on YouTube. I put a lot of effort into the editing there, so if you'd
It's very prestigious.
it is. It
The awards.
was great. We got a lot of we might be the official Game Awards next year,
I heard that.
considering how well it went. But yeah, so if you'd rather watch and see all of our choices and nominations as it goes, check it out on YouTube. Otherwise, keep checking it out on the regular audio format. How you guys doing? How's your holiday?
It was good. I feel like we haven't been here in a while.
Yeah, it's been. We recorded the Game of the Year episode. That was about a week and a half ago. So between that and now, Christmas happened. We all got a few trinkets, I assume. I know Matt got like 4 or 5 games for Christmas.
That is a gross exaggeration. Like 2?
Oh.
And then I just bought 1.
Oh, well, that counts. So before we start getting into the games we've been playing for past 2 weeks, it's been a while. I did think that it was important to take a moment to look ahead over the next year and kind of talk about what we're most excited for 2020. 2020 is going to be big.
2020 is going to be an exciting year. There's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of questions.
This is I can't remember the last time we've had a year where not only the next generation of consoles were set to come out, but also some major releases right at the end. I guess that did happen a little bit last turnover because GTA 5 came out the last year of that. And, it's been like one of, if not, it has been the best-selling game of all time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Best-selling game of all time, GTA 5. So what's, out of everything that's going on in 2020?
Ooh, that's a...
I know.
Springing it on us.
This is hard. Well, I told you guys to think about this, so
Yeah.
neither of you did. So what's the one thing you guys would be looking forward to the most out of everything in 2020?
PS5. Let's do it. I want to.
PS5.
Yep. I want to know what's coming out. I want to know what the launch games are. I want to know when I can touch it. Okay, you're spilling coffee on yourself, Andy.
Andy
This is
has spilled some coffee on himself.
terribly embarrassing.
Okay.
I'm trying to talk.
Nothing unusual about that.
Super distracting when I'm trying to say stuff.
So which one of the 18 leaked designs do you think it's going to be? Or do you think it's not going to be any of them?
I mean, all they have is the developer kit design, right? They haven't really released. There hasn't been any other kind of leaks,
There was that developer kit design that looks like something straight out of like 1980 something, like out of a Tron movie. Then there's that other one, that sleeker one with the blue light going across, but I don't know. That seems like also fake.
Yeah, I don't imagine that they have it even finalized yet.
The Switch, you didn't know what the design of the Switch was until that intro video to it, because all the leaked designs turned out to be false. So, who knows what it's going to be. But PS5, huh? That's your main squeeze.
Yeah, I
want to
know what the launch games are. I'm excited. I was kind of I thought this next generation was coming too soon, but I feel like now over this last few months, I'm like, all right, I'm kind of ready for a new set of consoles. I feel like a lot of the games are kind of rehashes of what just like we're getting so many sequels and
remakes and ports.
I just need like a fresh slate. Like at least the couple launch games like God Hand and stuff. It's like, I guess that's the only one that's new, but at least there's some new IPs.
I mean, video games are kind of like movies. There's never not going to be remakes or rehashes, though.
True.
It's about. I mean, if I guess the difference there is it going to be a, Crash Team Racing or a Resident Evil 2? Like, how much effort is going to be put into remaking these things? What about you, Dan? Most excited for 2020?
I mean,
could be a game, could be a console, could be an event, could be a TV show. I don't care.
It's kind of tough because I'm torn, because I know I'm very excited because apparently the Final Fantasy VII demo is going to come out, and I think that'll determine exactly between these two games that I'm thinking of, and that's the Final Fantasy VII Remake or Ghost of Tsushima.
Okay.
So I'm very, very excited.
Not expecting
for that.
you to say that.
No, I just I love open world games. I love that feeling of it, and I feel like that game, it's made by a really good company, so I know they can they can definitely deliver. And like I
still
saw,
feel like I don't know anything about Ghost of Tsushima.
I saw some
I
of the
know that it's
gameplay,
called Ghost of Tsushima.
and it looks like it looks like it's going to be Assassin's Creed except done right, and it's not going to have any of that goofy futuristic stuff to it. It's just going to be purely like a Neo, except it's just going to be mostly like other samurai that you fight pretty much.
I wonder if it'll be like Onimusha or more like a Dead Souls kind of game,
I don't know.
or like just Tenchu.
No, well, you have unlike Onimusha, I think you have the verticality. You can like jump to like different things and get like the jump on people. So it's kind of gonna be like a mix of like Sekiro with probably it looked more hack and slashy than like the Star Wars game. The
Sounds
Fallen
like
Order.
a little Assassin's Creed thrown in there too.
Yeah, with the like hopping and jumping and getting to like vantage points and things like that. But no, I think it's time for an open world samurai game, and I think that'll be really fun.
Does that have a firm release date?
No, it has summer.
Vague, yeah, it's
Summer
like some
2020. So
vague, like end of the year, middle of the year date.
Yeah.
What was the other one you mentioned? Final Fantasy
Final
VII
Fantasy
Remake?
VII, yeah. The demo is supposed to come soon, so I'm hoping I'll be able to try that. And
So I'm going to throw a bit of a curveball because, there's a lot of obvious answers I could throw out there that I'm very excited for.
if you say like Animal Crossing like 2020, I'm gonna be like, what the hell?
So I've mentioned many times on this podcast, I'm very excited for FF7 Remake, Cyberpunk, Animal Crossing, obviously the PS5, probably not the Xbox Series, whatever it's going to be. But here's the thing. The thing I'm most excited for is what Nintendo's going to do this year. And the reason for that is because we don't know what Nintendo's going to do. I'm very perplexed. It's like I love the unknown. Like I want to know, like with the new consoles coming out, are they going to smash out Breath of the Wild 2 for holiday season? Or are they gonna get the Metroid Prime trilogy out there? Like I'm very excited to see what they do. Or I'm going to be very upset if it turns out that they have a really disappointing year. But since the Switch launched, they haven't had a disappointing year, in my opinion.
Well, that second year wasn't great.
The last what?
That second year wasn't terribly great. Did it come out in 2018 or 2017?
2017.
Yeah, wasn't 2018 kind of there?
They ended with Smash Brothers.
Oh, yeah,
So
I'm a big
Yeah,
fan
that
of
kinda-
Smash.
that kind of saved it a bit. But I mean, I haven't actually gone back and looked at every tick for tack. But
Yeah,
they
we're
also
gonna-
launched with Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, because
So-
to add on that, like with so many things that we still don't, even about the Xbox and the PlayStation that we don't know about, it'll be interesting to see like when we're going to get new information. Like, is there going to be kind of a drought until E3, or is the next Nintendo Direct going to be super hot and they're going to be like, these are the games we're going to release this year?
Yeah,
Are we going to see that PS5 or the Xbox like event, or are they going to hold off most of it and trickle it until E3 and then have a big splash?
I don't know. I feel like Nintendo is going to continue to just do their Nintendo thing, which is not tell us
Direct,
anything, tell us about the directs a few days before they happen or even like the day of they happen. I feel like there's probably going to be a January Direct. They have done a January Direct.
Yeah, I would think so.
The past year. I think they do one a quarter. Is that what they do?
I don't know. I think it's kind of all over the place.
Well,
I know.
yeah.
I also don't like trust their release dates with like, how easy is it to just kind of recreate Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, and it was supposed to come out last year, and then they postponed it to like early
Well,
this
that's
year.
Square. That's
Then
not
they, yeah,
Nintendo.
well, please, I guess that's true. And then they postponed it to like the summer.
The only
Well,
thing,
maybe they're pushing the Final Fantasy.
And then with the whole thing with the Metroid too is
yeah, Metroid and Animal Crossing were definitely out of
Animal
the
Crossing.
norm for them. Those were the two big ones that they delayed, where they normally don't delay their games, and they also don't normally they don't have a habit of announcing games too soon. Metroid Prime 4 is the soonest I've seen them, release any information about a game they're working on. They usually don't say when they're working on something when it's still in like conception.
well, that's kind of what they did with the Zelda. 'Cause
Yeah,
they
that's
didn't really
Breath of
have
the
much. All they had was like a tiny little 10-second trailer
That's
of
true.
the landscape.
That was way back when they were doing really bad though. They needed to like keep excitement generating. But yeah, I'm just so curious as to what Nintendo's going to do because we just don't know enough at this point. I'm sure the next couple of directs will tell us more about that.
I want
I'm
that
not-
Metroid trilogy.
Yeah, me
remake.
too. I'm also kind of getting on board with Dan's idea that the Breath of the Wild 2 is going to release this holiday. I think that considering the base that they already had with the previous game, I think that's probably something that's doable, especially to compete with the new consoles that are coming out. So,
I mean, if Assassin's Creed kind of does the same thing, where sometimes they'll take a landscape and they can just quickly shift it or use the same assets. I mean, Ubisoft is well known
Yeah, I
for
mean,
that.
Far Cry New Dawn came out like a year after.
Yeah.
Far Cry 5.
Yeah, they use the same format. They just change. Actually, that's a better example, Matt. Yeah, so they use the exact same. They use the same exact land. They just made it like worn out a little bit more.
Wasn't it
war-torn.
like
It was more war-torn,
post-nuclear
yeah.
war or something?
But I guess something that happened, it made some of the fauna grow, and then certain areas it actually made it like look like a.
And this is kind of like it's. I mean, Nintendo has a long time between Zelda games, but this is not like a short amount of time for a game production.
If
like
it came out
almost 3 years.
Yeah, if it came out this year, it'd be 3 years between the two launches. But considering that they were originally, I think I read somewhere that originally this was going to be DLC, so they've been working on it for probably a while, and definitely we're using Breath of the Wild as a base to begin with, regardless of whether or not we think they're going to use the same overworld. So, yeah, it'll be neat to see. With that, what have you guys been playing? This is going to probably take a while. Not as much for me, but I know for you two it's probably going to be taking a while because there's such a 2-week drought between us talking about what we've been playing. You guys have both gotten some new games in that amount of time. So Matt, why don't you take us off?
Yeah, I've kind of had like video game ADD. I keep jumping back and forth between games looking for something fun to play. I was trying to go through the Gears series, but I fell off of like the first one pretty early on, like a few hours in, because I just kind of got bored of it. I wanted to play some RPGs, and then I got a couple games like around Christmas time. I started trying to give Breakpoint another chance. Now that it had been out for a few months, I decided to try it, see if it was going to any decent, if they fixed anything. And I kind of ran into like a lot of the same problems that I had before. So like the first side mission, I just like got killed a bunch of times. So then I said, all right, I'm just going to go through the main mission for a while, see if I can kind of gear up and get prepared. And I did that for like maybe 5 hours or so, and then I went and I was like, all right, I'm going to try to do some side missions, because that's what you want to do in an open game, for at least how I play them. Like, I don't even like doing the main missions. I like to do every side quest that's available to me and then move on to this main mission and kind of like destroy them and be like, oh, this is all the stuff that I've, gotten much stronger because of all these side quests I've done. 5 hours into the game, I did a side quest, and the same thing happened to me. It was like, it wasn't a big side quest. It was literally like, just get this blueprint of a gun part. And I just went to this huge base and I got wrecked like 4 or 5 times. And at that point, I was like, I'm done with this. I can't do this anymore. Like, it feels like it's discouraging you from doing what open world games are supposed to make you do, which is to explore and like try some new things. Like, they do have this with some of the missions that are later in the game. I think you can do some of them earlier on, but they have like the recommended level of 150. So those are kind of obvious, like, all right, I'm not prepared for this yet. But with a lot of the side missions, they don't have any sort of warning, like, you should be this gear level to do it. So you just go in and hope you're strong enough, get destroyed. And, when there's so many different side quests, like, around you, you don't want to just go to each one, figure out, okay, is this even doable for me? It's like if you were playing an MMO and, like, instead of this being a 1 to 10 area and this a 10 to 20 area, just, like, random guys from every level all around you, like, it's just, okay, I can't figure out what I'm supposed to do, where I'm supposed to go. So that just leaves you with the option of just playing the main mode, the main missions, which kind of defeats the whole purpose of a open world game for me.
Now, is this because, were you with a squad of computer players when you did this?
That's a good point. I was playing solo, so maybe it's just like so brokenly balanced for being online that I'm supposed to be playing with 3 other people, and maybe it would work that way, but
it sucks that they're trying to force you to do that, though.
Yeah, I didn't even try the matchmaking to see if that would work. I just assumed, because that's another thing with open world games. If you're going to play multiplayer, like, none of us are going to want to do the same thing or the same way. So it's not like an MMO where it's like, here's a dungeon or a raid where it's like, all right, we want to go from this boss to this boss to this boss. You want to explore, so I'm going to have to do what these other people want to do. Maybe they don't want to do what I want to do, so that's kind of why I've been playing single player totally. On top of that, I've had a couple of like weird glitches and things like that. Like I beat a main quest, and then my new quest said like #main quest or something like that, like next objective. And I just like walked around hoping it would reload. And then I like restarted my PS4, and then it fixed to what the next mission was going to be. So it seems like there's still a lot of kind of jankiness to the game, which is kind of a shame, because it's another one of those things where like Anthem, where the moment-to-moment shooting is a lot of fun, and you can see they did all the hard work. Why did they get what I consider the easy stuff poorly? So it's kind of a bummer.
Question: so is this game? Did you play The Division?
Yes, I played the Division 2 all the way through. Loved the Division 2.
All right, now
Didn't
question.
play much of the Division 1.
Is the Ghost Recon Breakpoint now like the Division, where enemies are leveled? So like you'll have level like 20 guy, or do they just have more armor and, they go down with a few bullets? Or are they like bullet sponges like they were in the Division?
They're not bullet sponges, but like it's a lot of it feels like it has a lot more to do with just like hordes of enemies coming from different areas where there's a lot more guys. Like those main missions, there's not just guys coming from everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that they do have levels or gear levels or something that makes it kind of gates your access to certain areas, especially like the last missions. But they don't make it clear. They're not like, okay, this side mission is level 30 gear level, this is 20, kind of like they do with the main missions where like, okay, this is a level 150 gear level mission. So because I think they say like you want to be around level 150 gear level to fight like the last boss, and I was at level like 30 or something when I stopped. Like it kind of goes pretty slowly.
So if you go in with a lower rank gun, can you still take them out?
Yes, I believe you can. I mean, I was still able to kill a lot of guys, but it's like I would go on this side mission, I would kill, 24 guys, and then like some guy would come out of nowhere and blow me up in one hit, and then I'd have to start and kill everyone over again. So it's like, just like, ugh, I don't want to do that all again. All I'm trying to do is get a blueprint for a gun. It's not even a big deal.
Yeah.
But they just make it this like huge mission that's harder than any main mission I've done in the last 5 hours.
Yeah, no, I don't, I like the games that just all the guns, no matter what, you can go and try and fight anyone as long as you're good enough.
Yeah.
So I don't like that whole, your gun is a level 10, but, Borderlands but Borderlands did it in a way that they kind of worked it around what you had. So
yeah, they like scaled it to
they
where
scaled it a
you
little
were
bit, but you still, when you went back to the old places, that was it. Like, this guy's level 1, and when you go back to him on that first planet, he's level 1 still. But where this one is, like, you can't, especially with an open world, Borderlands was kind of linear, where you're going. This one is, it's open worlds is supposed to expand your horizons. Like, oh, I'm going to go there and there and there first. Whereas some other player might be like, oh, I'm going to go there, there, and there. And you should be able to take anything out, like I said, if you are good enough.
Yeah, and I kind of wish, like, if they're going to do it like that, at least give me the knowledge, like, tell me what kind of level I'm supposed to be to do these. Because it could be the case that I just happened to pick the 2 hardest side missions, even though they weren't near the, like, last enemy area. Yeah. So
it's weird that they don't even have, like, a rate of difficulty for a side mission.
Like, I'd be fine if it was like that. Then I'd be like, all right, I'm just going to do every side mission that's lower than the next main mission, and then go from there.
Like you said, that's like an easy thing to put into a game.
Yeah, that's why it's so frustrating. It's like the gameplay's gone. The gameplay in Wildlands was fun. It's just like that, and they have some new fun systems with like all the upgrading and the gear score and stuff. I kind of like that kind of min-maxing, but they just make it not fun to kind of deal with. So we'll see if I ever get back into that. I also tried to play Persona 5 for a little because I was trying to get some new RPGs, and it was fun. Like it had like a what felt like a 7-hour tutorial again, like where it's just like, it's supposed to be this kind of open world RPG, not open world, but an RPG where you can kind of do what you want during the day. You can, get a side job. You can like learn to, I don't know, cook. You can go to a spa, and all these things will upgrade your stats. But you can't even do that until like 7 or so hours of gameplay of them telling you, all right, you have to go from A to B to B to C to D to E, which kind of got a little grating. And then I kind of finally got to the area where it was more open world, and like I got lost in one of the first dungeon that you kind of actually have freedom to do, and I just went through it like 2 or 3 times, and I couldn't figure out where to go, so I just kind of got frustrated. And then like another thing that I was doing kind of the world little side things like getting a job and stuff, and I thought it was going to be more like that Yakuza game where there's a lot of just different mini games and kind of side things you can do, but it's kind of, as opposed to just like a mini game, it's like, all right, you have a side job, you go there at night, and then it's just like loads and you get experience, and then it's like, all right, now you have to do your next thing. So it's really not like you're playing, it doesn't feel like I'm playing it. It's like, okay, I'm just choosing which stats to get up. But instead of saying you get attack 3, it's like you have to deliver mail or whatever the mission is. So you're not actually doing anything. It's just like you're spending the next 3 hours working at a bar.
Yeah, I've been really curious about that game for a very long time. I've never played a Persona game, so I didn't really have any frame of reference. And my friend Bobby recently started playing it, and of course, this is only going to mean something to anybody if they watch anime or know anything about anime, but he finally said it's like Dragon Quest VIII meets JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And if you don't know what JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is, Dragon Quest VIII, you can kind of sum up what that might be, but JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is basically like anime on steroids. It's just like ridiculous, crazy action, intense.
That was another one of the thing that was kind of like a little jarring because it's such a Japanese game that they have like themes and story plots that would never like fly in a kind of a studio that was made kind of in the West. Like there's a lot of like, okay, this teacher's dating this student and everyone at school knows about it and no one's really doing anything about it. This teacher is like beating some of the kids that, he's the coach of a volleyball team and he's like beating a lot of the kids and things like that.
So this is dark.
Yeah, so that's like one of the first enemies that you're like trying to fight is this like school teacher that's just like beating his male and female students like physically. They're coming with bandages and stuff, which was
sounds like Japan.
Yeah, it's like I didn't have a problem with it, but it was just kind of funny because I was like, wow, this is kind of strange that this is even flying. Like, I'm surprised no one's not like hashtag.
I've seen a lot of
too much.
Oh yeah, that's true. Like the social justice warriors getting on top of this game for like promoting that type of stuff. But I don't know, all the stuff I've seen from Japan as far as the anime goes, and like I'm just not surprised that would be an element of the game.
Yeah. So yeah, it was interesting. I mean, we'll see. I'm not a big fan of the whole time management. It's not as bad as I was talking about the last couple of weeks, Final Fantasy X-2 or 13-2, where you literally have like a certain amount of, or 13-3, sorry. You have a certain amount of time that you have to do anything in, but like you do have to say, okay, at night I'm spending these 3 hours working at the 7-Eleven basically. So you do have to manage. You can't physically just like over level yourself. You kind of have to choose which stat you want to get up, or what you want to do, if you want to get more money or stats or get characters to like you more or whatever it is, which is a little stressful. And I know a lot of people love it, but it's not my favorite. So I kind of fell off that too. And then I started playing World of Final Fantasy, which is...
You have been going all over the place.
Yeah, really all over the place, trying to find I was kind of trying to find a more turn-based role-playing game, and Persona 5 was that, but I didn't hit the right, switch for me, I guess. And World of Final Fantasy is going pretty well. It seems kind of more like slow-paced, kind of like relaxing. It's pretty easy, so different than Breakpoint.
My only I would say, I guess, knowledge about World of Final Fantasy comes from 2015 E3 when Dan had told me that I guess there was this FF7 remake that might be announced, and I was waiting for that, and then they started showing me World of Final Fantasy. I'm like, this is not Final Fantasy VII Remake. It looked pretty cute, but then it instantly was followed by the FF7 original remake trailer, which just made me, made the internet explode. Yeah, I mean, but I haven't heard about that game since.
Yeah, it seems kind of...
I forgot it came out.
Yeah, it does look kind of cute. It seems like an alright game. It does have that kind of cute aesthetic to it. A lot of the dungeons and kind of areas that you go to can kind of look very plainy, where there's not a lot going on. Kind of a similar issue that was with like Final Fantasy 13. But the characters are pretty cute. They do kind of joke around and they'll break the fourth wall and every once in a while, and that's kind of one of the most charming surprises about this game is that the characters themselves aren't like, just cringy or like boring or anything like that. They're actually kind of fun to hang out with, and they kind of snipe and quip at each other while you're just kind of running around doing whatever you're doing, which is kind of nice.
It seemed like they were kind of having conversations during the boss fights too, which I thought was kind of neat.
Yeah, they'll talk about each other and be like, this is the time we're gonna fight this guy. So they'll get like mad at each other, which is kind of, in like a kind of a joking manner, which is kind of cool. And there's a big kind of Pokemon-ish part of this game where you're kind of collecting these monsters. Most of the monsters you fight, you can catch. You can use like a spell that tells you, okay, how do you catch this one? And sometimes it'll be attack them, or sometimes it'll be use a certain type of spell on them, and then you can basically throw out a Pokeball and catch them, and then you can bring them to fight with you. You actually stack them on your head, which is kind of strange. Like there'll be two characters on your head, and you get so instead of you taking a turn, you and the two people on your head take a turn together, so you can use all their spells or you can use your spells.
Sounds like a fever dream.
Yeah, it's strange, but it's actually not as like disjointed as you would think. It's actually kind of fun the way it plays out. So I'm enjoying it so far, but I'm not terribly far into it yet.
Something I did notice because I was watching you play pretty briefly is on the side they kind of had this bar on the side that showed like whose turn was coming next, and like these like little diamonds would go up to the top, and once it got to the top, that was either the enemies or your character's turn. And
Yeah, which is nice. You can kind of like strategize who's going to go next,
Yeah.
which guys are going to go next, and then you can even like if you're just doing kind of the same spells over and over, you can press a button that'll just automatically repeat your last movement.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of more of a relaxed pace that way.
It kind of reminded me of the original version of FF7, where it was technically turn-based, but it was also real-time. So you'd each character's little bar would go up, and even when you're trying to choose an attack, the enemy still has a chance to do his attack. So it reminded me a lot of that.
It is, but it doesn't actually like when it gets to your
it kind of stops.
It stops everyone's.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It reminds me of Final Fantasy X, because 10 could do that. Like, because I remember Tidus used to have haste, so you could make him like do a move, quick attack, and he would jump to first.
Yeah.
Mm.
And he'd have the next 2 attacks, so it'd be like
Quick attack, Pikachu!
So yeah, I remember doing that because Tidus, when you leveled him up, he would just whack like the enemy like 4 times before they even did anything. Plus, Riku had that like thief thing, so you could always,
that was quick.
if you just didn't want to fight, you just like, oh, Riku, like try and steal something, so you should steal something, then you run away from the fight. So that was neat to have that breakdown of who's going here, why.
Yeah, which is kind of what I've been looking for with a more of a turn-based strategy, as opposed to these action ones like Final Fantasy 15 that just for some reason that just don't grab me. And they try to get kind of like a nostalgia part of your brain they'll be like, you'll see Tifa or you'll see Yuna or someone from the other Final Fantasy games, but they just have these kind of short scenes. They're not individually they're not a big part of the game, but like it all adds up to them kind of being a big part of the game, but they don't really hang out with you for that long, which is kind of interesting to see, like, oh, hey, here I'm in a Final Fantasy VII town with Tifa all of a sudden for like an hour, which is kind of interesting that they mix it up like that. And it actually starts with Final Fantasy 1, which is like a game I've actually never played, so just like
I've beaten that game.
The Hero of Light or whatever, which is kind of fun. It's fun to see that stuff too, but I'm enjoying it so far. It is what it is. It's just kind of a fun, slow RPG.
Did you continue FF15 or did you kind of give up on that?
I gave up on it because like this, so again, I was playing Final Fantasy 15 a couple weeks ago, and I don't know, the story's just so bad, and the more I learn about it, the more like they kind of packed in the story into like, movies that you have to watch and expansions that you have to buy, and as I'm playing the game, I noticed like at different points, one of the characters on your main team will just like leave, and I found out that's because they have expansions for each of the characters on your team. So like Gladius will all of a sudden be like, hey guys, I gotta head out for a bit to do something. And like when I first played this, I was like, all right, I guess this is part of the story. But it's literally just so that they can like shoehorn a DLC starring Gladius, a few months after the
that you have to pay for?
That you have to pay for to figure out what he was doing during that time.
That's dumb.
Yep.
And they'll like one of them comes back with like a big scar on his eye, and it's like, I'm sure that I've never played the DLCs. I'm sure that's a big part of what happened. Which is just, I hate when games make you watch movies or animes or all that stuff instead of just, it should all be in the game. I don't want to read engrams online. I don't want to do any of that nonsense.
No, it's too much work.
And then the I'm so sick of the gameplay. It's just the combat. I don't know. Dan was saying I think he liked it a lot more than me, but to me I just felt like it was button mashing, square, square, square. Sometimes you triangle. You would have spells, but again, you have to make them, so you only get 5 at a time. So I always felt discouraged from using them because it also has like an area of effect so you can actually hurt the other players on your team because you don't control any of them. So I don't know. I just got super frustrated by that game. I was like, this is worse than 13. At least 13 I can get through.
Ouch.
Yeah, I think I like 13 substantially more than 15 because
13. Again, I've said this, the combat in 13 I wasn't a huge fan of, but I do know that a lot of people like the tactility of it.
Yeah, I loved it.
Is that a word?
I don't know.
Tactility?
I don't know if it makes sense.
Tactful. Tactility.
Just like the strategy, you mean, of like picking.
Yeah, the strategic
element. Yeah, it is a lot of fun,
yeah.
and it's pretty quick. So it's kind of what I'm looking for in an RPG with turn-based. But yeah, sorry to go off on a tangent of 15, but I think
I asked.
I think that might be my least favorite of all the Final Fantasies I played, which is kind of a bummer.
So that's all you've been playing?
Yeah, pretty much all of those games. I'm kind of enjoying. I'm actually, of all those games, I think World of Final Fantasy is the one I've been enjoying the most. So which is the one I'm currently playing. So I'm going to kind of continue that. I'm hoping I'll be able to, finally finish a game. I haven't finished a game in a few weeks because I keep bouncing back and forth. And then,
are you still the trophy hunter or are you the completionist now? What did we settle on with that?
I don't know. I thought I was always the trophy hunter.
It's 2020, Matt.
It's a name you made up
changing
for
or
me
it's
that
keeping.
I think when you initially came up with it, I was like, I don't have a lot of trophies. Like, I'm not actually very good at that.
All right, fine. You're the completionist now.
The completionist? Okay.
The procrastinator.
But I'm not the completionist because we just talked about 4 games I bounced off
Yeah,
of
but normally you
immediately.
do. Like, it takes a lot for you not to finish a game.
Yeah.
You can come up with your own nickname if you want.
Yeah, maybe I should. I don't know.
Maybe you should.
The
Matt.
end game. I don't know because that's
Dan's still the collector. That's
greatest.
That's pretty.
that's yeah.
That's pretty
And
sticking.
with the GameStop buy two get two, I took full advantage
Yeah.
of that.
So what has the collector been playing?
So the collector has beat Link's Awakening for the Switch.
Nice.
But I was a little frustrated. No, not with the game. The game was great. But there was a puzzle apparently.
you were stumped.
Yes, I was stumped
Was
at
that the damn wind egg or whatever?
No. Well, I knew right away that I got something in the library that said
Yeah.
go in these directions, and I was like, oh, neat. Maybe I'll do that. Except it said graveyard, and I'm like, oh, I think this is the wrong thing. So I went to the graveyard and I tried to do that puzzle, and I was like, this doesn't make sense because there's no, you can't go up 5 over 3.
Did you ever figure that out?
No, I will figure it out though. I'll go back. So I'm just frustrated at the fact that I couldn't figure that out. No, but I beat Ganon, or not Ganon, whoever the final boss was.
Does he have a name?
Gooey monster
The last
dudes.
one, the last
I
form.
think he was just the monster in the. I don't remember him actually having a name.
He's probably like the soul of like the windfish or something. I don't know. But either way, the last form was kind of neat because he looked like Ganon. He was like the pig with like the trident.
Yeah,
So I thought
yeah,
that was kind of neat. But no, it was fun, and actually without the special item you get from that dungeon that I missed.
Yeah, the collar dungeon.
It makes the last few levels actually quite difficult.
Yeah,
which
I
thought was
didn't-
fun.
I would imagine because I struggled a little in those last 2 dungeons and the last boss, even though I had the tunic that cut my damage in half.
Oh, you did have it.
yeah.
For that.
So I was like, man,
I did what Dan did. I didn't do the color dungeon until. Well, you haven't done it yet at all. But
Yeah.
I didn't do it until after I beat the final boss.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it was that final boss was tough to figure out. Because I walked up and I was like, all right, that doesn't work. Hey, that
Yeah.
worked.
Yeah, you
and it was like
kinda
rinse and
have
repeat,
to-
rinse and repeat.
The problem with him is you got to kind of do that stupid, annoying puzzle to get to him, and then he's got so many forms that you have to like figure out how to
Yep.
beat each form and then not die while you're figuring it out.
Yeah,
Oh,
I got like 3 in, and then when he was doing the trident throw, I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
And then I was like, what's the last thing I can do? And I really, like, I was so set, like, he's throwing the trident. I bet you have to hook shot it back and like knock, you know, it's a Zelda game.
Just, like,
It's gotta be a
overthinking
little
it.
goofy. So I was like, oh, maybe I hook shot it and whack it. And no, it doesn't do anything. It's like metal. It just doesn't move. And I'm like, oh. I was like, maybe I gotta swing and hit it and knock it away and something. He has to go pick it up, and no, and you can't go around him because he like scans you and he goes basically rotates.
Yeah,
where you're going.
yeah. That was the one part of him that kind of stumped me. a
Yeah,
little
so
too
that
when
one
I
stumped
played.
me like forever, and then I accidentally did something. I'm not going to spoil it for what people need to.
And
do, but-
also, as far as the puzzle getting into the dungeon, I'm not going to ruin this for anybody, but if you know where to go in the world, that puzzle is extremely easy. My only issue is if for some reason you do die or you do want to leave the final boss fight, you have to redo the puzzle every time you want to go back to beat him.
Yeah, I thought that was a little. Yeah, but I mean,
It wasn't.
It
too
is
bad,
what it
though.
is. It was neat.
It was from 1993. What are you going to do?
Yeah, well, not only that, it was also very because the original Zelda has something like that. It has a forest where you have to go up a certain number, and
So does
over,
Ocarina of
and-
Time. With the Lost Woods, you have to go through it specifically.
Oh yeah, that's true. See, the Lost Woods, at least you could cheat though, because
Well,
if you got really close, it would
the
start
solid black,
So
yeah.
when I went there, I was like, oh, maybe I'll hear music or something. I went to each one, I didn't hear it, so I was like, all right, I think I need to go here to figure this out, and I found it and beat it.
Oh,
But-
yeah. See, I found that out like right at the beginning of the game, and I'm like, I'm just going to take a screenshot of this so
Yeah.
I don't have to ever
Yeah.
remember
So-
That's what I
again.
did.
But
Yeah.
you enjoyed the game?
I did.
overall?
I did very much enjoy the dungeons. They were thought provoking. They were well designed. The boss battles were very, very fun. Each one just was unique, and I like the last one too, the lava level, where almost every other room was like another mini boss, which was just like, hey, I remember you, the guy that like rolls the it's like a giant like
the spike
barrel
cylinder.
with like cylinder, yeah, and
Yeah.
he rolls that.
Spike log.
So that was all the bosses were really fun to fight, to be honest. My favorite was the skeleton guy, though. That guy was pretty fun to fight. So I beat that. I loved it. It was great. The next game I am playing, actually continue playing, is Outer Worlds, and I am blown away by the dialogue of almost every character in the game.
I will say, please be careful about what you say, because I haven't played through it. Okay, good, because I'm very excited to continue playing through that.
No. I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm just saying I'm impressed that even like side characters at like a store or whatever, the dialogue is deep. There was one guy I just chatted with, and and he's like, "Are you doing all right? Are you doing all right? Are you okay?" And he's just like, "Yeah, whatever." But it's just like really deep and emotional, and that Parvati character is, she'll subtly say something, and it's like, why did you say that? Now I'm second guessing my friggin' self. It's like I had everything all set, and and then she just comes in, she's like, I don't know if you should do that, and
I disagree with what you're about to do.
Yeah, and I was like, I thought we were on a team here. Like,
we were cool, man.
Yeah.
So would you say it's fair to say that it's basically Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, except they just took those games and basically improved everything, just made everything better?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's incredible. What they've done with the game. It's, the only thing that stinks in the game that I don't like that much, I don't know what difficult you're playing on, but my teammates go down like that. I don't
know what difficulty I'm playing on it, actually.
I think I'm playing
I probably
on hard.
chose normal.
I think I'm playing on hard, and they're going down immediately.
Whatever the default is.
Oh yeah, I moved it up a little bit because I was like, I play Fallout. I know what I'm getting into, and the characters typically go down. Now I've powered the crap out of them with like, here's armor with 26 thing on it, and it's ballistic protection, so you'll be fine. I don't care about your tech skills or whatever. So they go down a little fast. That's. Besides that, I'm absolutely loving like talking to every character that I can. I'm like, can I talk to you? Oh, nope, you're just a guard. Can I talk to you? No, I can't talk to him. So, no, I'm loving it, and I am gonna make sure to do all the side stuff because I heard it is short if you focus kind of on the main story, kind of like Skyrim.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like Fallout 3 was kind of like that if you just concentrated on the main story
you could beat it in like 4 or 5 hours. So, I don't want to do at least Fallout if you know what you were doing. Same thing with Skyrim, but I want to stretch this out as much as possible. Just because like I said, every character that I talk to, it's like, oh, I like you, and it's like, oh, I don't like you. So it's neat. And then the last one is a new game that I picked up because unfortunately the GameStop near me is going out of business. So they're like 40% off like pre-owned games and 30% off new, and
nice.
So there was very few new Switch games left, but there was one that was called Slay the Spire that I picked up. That I picked up, and I was like, "Oh, neat!"
You put on that on your missed opportunities for the Game Awards, right?
Yes. So now I am not missing it. So it is a very addictive game. It has filled that Hearthstone kind of feel, because you get cards and everything, and I don't know if either of you have played Hearthstone long enough to know certain
played it
modes.
briefly,
but okay, well they had one mode and it was really fun. Basically, you started with a deck, and then you would, every time you beat an opponent, you'd pick a prize, and then you'd add that to your deck. And so in this one, you have artifacts, which give you a boost. Like you draw an extra card at the beginning of the turn, but you also lose health. So it's risky, and you can't. At the moment, there's nothing to heal myself. But essentially, you're fighting it's a turn-based RPG, except with cards. And you can use as many cards as you have points. So like I have my character has 4 points, so I can use 4 points worth of cards in one turn. And then also your opponent, whatever they're gonna do for the next attack, shows up above their head. So if you see one guy with like a green circle, he's gonna cast a spell on you. If you see one that's a shield, he's gonna power up his defense. And then if you see one with an attack, it'll give you the attack that he's going to do, and it's rough range. So that's when you decide, all right, this guy's going to attack and do a lot of damage. I need to defend myself, so I'm hoping I get some defense cards. And It's like I said, it's rather interesting, and every time you beat somebody, you can follow like multiple paths, and depending if you want to go on a path of fighting a lot of monsters and getting a lot of loot, but say you're kind of struggling, like I got my ass kicked by the last guy, I'm gonna see if I can swing by the merchant over here and refill my health or do that. And then on top of that, there's like question mark areas. You go into that, and usually it's very D&D like inspired. Like you walk into a relic room and there's a glowing orange rock. What do you do? And it's like, take a step forward. You 5 health lost, but you're closer to the relic, or leave or something. So, and then it's like you take one more step and you swear that you can feel more powerful, and so you take another step, but you lose like 10 health this time. It's like, shoot, like, all right, this relic better be worth it. And then the last one's like, grab the relic, minus another 10 health, or leave. And they do a bunch of things like that. They'll give you, do you want this artifact, or do you want this? Some of them are all safe, but some of them are risky. Like, you have to cut your health in half to use this artifact or something. And the artifact is usually very, very strong. Like, your opponent loses, 5 damage on all enemies in one turn, or every turn, or something. So it's basically a deck building game that you are using against an actual, like, enemy.
So is there like an end to this game, or is it mostly just...
so the story, there's an actual story, and then you just basically go through the dungeon.
So it's like it has an end goal, like it's a beatable game.
Yeah, and then it has just like really like hard, difficult like checkpoint.
I might have to stay away from this game.
I'll let you borrow it.
Nah, it just sounds like something I'll get too addicted to. Like
it's really fun.
Over Christmas, my girlfriend's
you just do one dungeon, done. Just like how you do Picross, you do like one thing. You can beat a dungeon in like 10 minutes.
God, I get so addicted to Picross though.
In 10 minutes.
So my girlfriend, just kind of a side anecdote. I was at my girlfriend's family for Christmas Eve, and her brother and her cousins broke out. They're all our age, but they like broke out the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and I kind of started getting kind of reacclimated with that, and I'm like, oh God, I need to stop doing this. And now you're telling me about this card game, and it sounds really cool.
Well, the good thing is every time you earn a card, it's like free. You're not actually paying for anything.
Well, that's not what I was worried about.
Well, anyway, I'll let you try it. It's like I said, I'm pretty.
I do actually want to try it.
I'm pretty impressed with it. I mean, there's a reason why the reviews were so high on it. And then on top of that, like I just unlocked another character. I haven't tried him yet, so I've only played it for about like 2 hours. And I've completed like 2 or 3 dungeons, and of course the last boss is pretty difficult. Of every dungeon area, but it's like I said, it's addicting. Each fight maybe lasts about like 3 minutes, not even 4 minutes, but you have to be careful. You have to, like, if you take a lot of damage one turn, that's going to affect the next fight, because you can't just heal on your own. You need to either find abilities that heal you. So like I had an ability that gave me 6 health at the end of combat. So the next combat that I entered into, I was always gaining an extra 6. And then at the start of that combat, I got an additional 2. So, but sometimes I started with like 3 health or something. So I was like, crap, you have to really pump up your defenses, before you get hit by, the 1, 2, 3 enemies that you're fighting at one time. But no, it's been a lot of fun. And it's, like I said, it's a great game to pick up and just beat a dungeon and be done with it. For a little bit. So it's a perfect Switch game.
Yeah.
And you can get it for cheaper this is one of those games that it's $40 for the Switch and $30 for consoles. Of course. But I was like, this is a much needed
that
play
sounds
for the
like
Switch.
a kind of needs to be played on the Switch type thing. Like it's a perfect travel game. Yeah. So just to bring everybody up to speed with the Dan playing and beating games list. I have it here that you've played 17 since we started doing this, which seems low. I feel like you probably play more games than that, but I think there's certain games that we don't really count on this list because they're either not like Mario Party's not going on this list. Smash Brothers isn't really going on this list. Those aren't really games that you play to beat. So you've played 17, beaten 9. So you've beaten basically 50% of the games that you set out to play. Now, out of the games I'm about to list, are there any of these that you know you will not beat or complete? Ultimate Alliance 3, Wind Waker, Samus Returns, Shadows Die Twice, Greedfall, Outer Worlds, Jedi Fallen Order, Devil May Cry, Slay the Spire. Can you safely say that you will not beat any of those games? Can we let you stew on that for a while?
Ultimate Alliance, maybe?
Ultimate Alliance 3?
Yeah, that's bottom of the list really right now, because...
I can add it to the will not beat list.
No. I might, because it's just... I'm trying to get Amy, my wife, back into playing the Switch, and she started playing Tetris like 99 the other day, and now she wants to play The Witcher. So, of course, because of the television
Well,
show.
here you go. I'm going to send you this list. I'll let you look at it on your own time just so you know where you're at.
You guys catch that new Witcher show?
I did.
Not yet.
It
Yeah,
was.
I watched the first couple
It
episodes.
was good.
It's better than I thought it was going to be.
It's confusing, though.
Yeah, there's a lot of
people
world
that
building,
don't know the
a lot of
characters.
stuff
I was like,
going
oh,
on.
I know who that is. Oh, I know who that is.
Yeah, I'm not going to know anything.
And apparently it's so popular that I guess there's a song in the game that the bard sings, and it's called "Toss a Coin to Your Witcher." And now someone has put it into Beat Saber. So
Of course.
yeah, so apparently it's been a really, really popular show. And if you do love The Witcher, I would definitely give it a go.
So for me, this is going to be short and sweet for me, per usual. I feel like that's my role on this podcast is to not play any games, which is great for a podcast about video games. So the past couple weeks, I've been throwing a lot of my free time. There was the holidays and the traveling and all that, but a lot of my free time has been going towards things for the podcast. I designed a new retro logo. I'm currently in the middle of designing a 3D intro to the YouTube portion of the podcast, so a lot of my energy has gone there. However, I have found a bit of time to play a couple of games. I'm still Dan and I have been playing Call of Duty. We've been switching to hardcore mode, although I'm trying to take kind of a break from
What's hardcore mode?
Basically, you only take like a bullet to die.
Oh God.
There's no heads-up
Sounds
display.
stressful.
A lot less camping because of that. Well, sometimes
People are mostly trying to sneak around, so it's a slower pace.
Stealth.
But
Stealth.
yeah, so
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun. And like I said, there's no heads-up display, so half the time people
you don't know when your abilities are ready or anything like that. You don't know how many grenades you have left.
But you can still use all that stuff?
Yeah.
That's funny.
So
But for me, I spent a lot of 2019 being very kind of like how Matt, you've been very ADD about the games I'm playing. There's like so much on my list, and I just want to start my New Year's video games. You okay over there, Dan?
Yeah, I'm good.
Making a lot of noise.
all right, I'm just dancing.
He's excited to be here.
I am.
I thought
very excited.
it sounded like he was when you're a kid and you like rub your feet on the carpet and you go to shock someone. I felt like that's what you were trying to do. Yeah. No. So for me, my New Year's resolution for video games is to definitely try to concentrate on one game at a time, especially over the next few months before all these big releases come out. I want to concentrate on my Game Pass games and a couple other things I need to clean up, and then I also on my like quest to play every Zelda game, I just bought a few more that I was missing. I bought one that I didn't think I was gonna buy, but I decided to throw it into the list anyways, which is Triforce Heroes, and I repurchased Phantom Hourglass. Both of them, they were complete with the case and everything like that, which is nice. The only Zelda game I am missing that I actually give a damn about is Spirit Tracks. Because it's not like I'm not gonna be buying like Link's Crossbow Training or any of that.
Have you played Spirit Tracks?
No, I have not.
It's like one of the worst ones, I think.
I've heard from people that it's actually underrated.
Really? Maybe I should try it
Especially
again,
compared
but-
to Phantom Hourglass. Phantom Hourglass is the worst one I've ever played.
Yeah, I think those two
hated
are
that
not
game.
good.
They are not.
From my memory.
From what
My memory serves correct.
Most people I've talked to have said Spirit Tracks was at least a tad bit better than Phantom Hourglass. But one game I have been playing that I've been waiting to play for a while. I saw PewDiePie play this back in like I think 2015 or 16. That was the only like exposure I ever had to the game, but I've been meaning to play it ever since. Was Super Hot. So that's on the Xbox Game Pass, so I've been playing that. I'm not playing it in VR. I'm just playing it kind of the normal way, but I like it because it's kind of like an action puzzle game,
Yeah.
more or less, and you mess with time. So I'm having fun with that. I know it's just kind of a quick indie game, but it definitely has like a 80s hacker vibe to it too, because it's like you can hear they're doing like a MS DOS code and everything like that, and you can hear the clicking of the keyboards and everything every time you like talk to someone or hit a menu screen, so that's kind of fun. And it's just kind of a fun game, kind of a quick turnaround game.
Is there any like depth to that game? Because I feel like I've always avoided
Yes.
it, even though I've liked VR, just because it seems so basic. Just like it's like very, like it's basically like white rooms with just kind of red.
There's an underlying story to it.
Okay.
I would recommend it.
All right, maybe I should check it out.
Especially because I don't think it's very long. Dan has one more game
doesn't
to add to
video
the
well.
list of games that he's been playing.
I did, and this is thanks to both of you gentlemen that we're talking so highly about this game. I I owned it, but I just never got the time to hook up in the space to hook up my PSVR. But I finally did, and I tried
Yes.
Astrobot for the first time. Which
Wasn't it
that
awesome?
intro was so depressing. It was so sad.
Oh, yeah.
With just the one little guy that survives, and the guy just rips the what's it called, the VR mask like off the ship character's head, and then just like boom, flies away. But it literally reminded me of Super Mario World 3D, except you controlling the thing, and it was absolutely. I could not stop smiling for the just like you said. I love when you kick the guys, like they're kind of like down and sad, like because they're lost, and you kick them, and they're like oh, and like
they go in your controller and they're all
like,
hanging out together.
So I thought that was fantastic, and I'm very, very excited to keep playing that because, like I said, it just looks really well designed.
Oh, it's great.
And it just
the
looks
best
funny
VR
as hell.
game for a reason.
And it easily needs a sequel at some point.
Oh,
Yeah, they better be
they'd
working
be
on it,
stupid
so.
not to.
Yeah, but
That's a PlayStation VR exclusive, right?
Correct.
I
Yeah.
probably
Yeah,
asked that
made by
like 10
Sony
times.
Japan.
The
an internal
I
studio.
remember when the first like VR thing came, they had like an Astrobot like playpen or something.
Yeah, there was like a demo with that as part of it, and I think
Yeah.
people responded so well to it that they were like, "Let's make this a full game," basically.
Yeah, they love the character. So basically, it was like
He's adorable.
You could send them all out like into like this area, and then you could suck them all back in with like a vacuum. Yeah. So sorry, I wanted to add,
that's fine.
add that because I forgot that I
pretty big
popped that
news.
in. And
I mean, yeah, like I've been playing Super Hot. I really want to concentrate while I have this free Game Pass thing for a couple months. I really want to concentrate on those first, kind of get them out of the way. I don't know how many of them I'm going to complete. Then I want to, I do still have an aim. Another, I guess, New Year's resolution for video games for 2020 would be I really want to get back on the Zelda train, get that side pod going again with me going through the Zelda games. But aside from that, for other titles that aren't on Game Pass, my main goal is going to be probably finish Control first and then move on to Outer Worlds. Control first since I'm borrowing it from Dan and he wants it back. Then move on to Outer Worlds because I'm having such a blast with that game. But Super Hot's really great. I definitely recommend it to anybody if you have Game Pass or I know it was made for VR. You don't need to play it in VR. If you don't have VR and you still want to play it, you can definitely do that. It's a really fun game.
ooh, apparently it's on sale right now for PlayStation Store for $10.
Oh, there you go.
I might
God,
have
I
to-
keep buying too many video games.
I might get that.
I'm pretty
I
sure
heard
this
it's
one's
fantastic.
a quick turnaround, though. It's not like a very long game or anything like
But-
that.
Yeah, I definitely. Wow, just 9s, 10s, 5, 5,
Yeah, it's
5
really fun.
all across the board.
Yeah, it definitely has like a really, so far, like a kind of a cryptic, unique underlying story to it. Like you're talking to this guy through I don't even know what it is. It's like through MS-DOS or something. I guess you're talking to him, but it seems like just like a very old like retro AIM chat room you're talking to him in, and he's kind of like giving you these files to play through and whatnot, and you're kind of like almost like breaking the fourth wall about the game, talking about it. So yeah, definitely check it out. That's it for me. Unfortunately, I don't really have too much more to talk about. Is there any other games you guys have been playing that you want to talk about?
No, nothing really.
I think I'm eventually. I just popped in a few because I got the new PlayStation. I've been trying to load stuff back in, so I think I'm gonna get back into Vampire and completely finish that because I was pretty far in that.
Oh, I thought you beat that.
No, I got far, but I was just spending so much time building up reputations with certain people. You can just fly through and say, screw it, I'm just gonna like eat these people or whatever and get the bonuses. But if you build them up or something and want to get the good ending, it seems like you need to do a lot more work. And of course, I can never be the bad guy in these games, even though I want to play Outer Worlds as a giant jackass the next time, because some of the sarcastic things I want to say, but I'm like, yeah, it's gonna break the relationship there. And
I feel like, and this isn't even a game I played, but I feel like there hasn't been a game since Fable where it actually will reward you at all for being the bad guy. I feel like Fallout 4, like you can try to be a dick if you want, but there's no reward for it at all.
yeah,
Really.
I mean, yeah, just
Like,
getting
your
loot from
partners
people.
never like you. Stealing things always brings down your credit or credibility everywhere. And but like Outer Worlds definitely had that same mentality where it's like, oh, I could steal this, but it's in red. If I steal it, it's going to be bad.
But I also love the fact that there's a tab in your menu, like when you see your character, you can tab over a little bit, and you can see exactly how your character's reputation is, and then also your benefits. So, which I thought one of the benefit was funny. One of them said shoot on sight, and it said vendor prices minus 20%. It's like, wouldn't you think they just wouldn't sell to you, like at that point? But no, it is. I am absolutely enjoying the crap out of it. The guns are really unique. I don't know what you've unlocked for weapons, but
it might be if you kill a vendor, they're dead for good, and then all of the other vendors hear about it and give you.
I don't know. It was a vendor for this type of person.
That's interesting.
It was minus 20% for this
I haven't looked
faction.
at that tab. I'll have to look at that. That's pretty interesting.
So I didn't. Well, one of them I'm really bad. I'm like, oops, like whoops.
So something pretty big dropped in the past few days. There's been a lot of talk about an FF7 demo, and now a lot of things leaked about it. The intro for the demo, as well as, I guess, this is a little confusing to me. People with dev kits are playing the demo. Does that mean dev kits of the next generation system, or like what does that mean?
Maybe the
People with
original
dev kits.
PlayStation 4.
Yeah, the original PS4 dev kit that people are still using now.
That's
maybe.
Like,
I don't know.
Why,
I didn't hear that.
Like,
so
did they get like? Did Sony release out a demo to just certain publishers with dev kits? That's very confusing to me.
I bet at this situation, those dev kits are unlocked with almost everything. They have access to so much because they probably wanted, information or whatever from these sites. So at that point, when they put something on the PlayStation Store, it could be locked, but these dev kits maybe bypass it. And at that point, they can download whatever they want, like an early Resident Evil. I don't know if these people got to play the Resident Evil 2 demo early or something like that. But
if anybody listening knows more about dev kits and how that all works, feel free to email us at manabarpodcast@gmail.com. I'd be happy to know more about that. I really don't know anything about that at all.
No, neither do I. But I mean, I'm pretty excited. Spawn Wave mentioned that apparently the demo is anywhere between 40 minutes to an hour.
Yeah, it's 10 gigs, and I guess the full game is going to be 73 gigs.
Wow.
Nice.
See, I wasn't sure if that was big or small, so I was going to use Dan's reaction as kind of a guide for that. So, what are like some of the bigger games?
Grand Theft Auto.
Like how many gigs?
60.
Wow.
Yeah, most big games are like between 50 and 60.
Detailed,
And there's like a couple that are in the 80s and 90s, but
Red Dead
very
Redemption is like 90 or something.
The original?
Like that.
Or
no,
2?
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, that would make
was
more
like 90
sense.
because it was 2 freaking discs.
Oh my God, that's right.
It was the only one.
That included the online too, so I don't know how much that
That's
factors
true.
into
That
it.
is true.
But without online, this is 73 gigs.
Yeah, so it's going to be highly detailed, and I'm pretty excited.
So Matt and I watched the intro shortly before this, and it's.
Oh, I have not seen it yet.
It's exactly what you'd expect. It's just like the first, like, what was it? The first minute.
Yeah, for
something
2
like
minutes,
that.
it's pretty short. It's just
It's
not much.
Basically, the first minute of the original game, just with prettier graphics.
Yeah, you see Ares with the
This is like
flower,
your dream come true.
So here,
and then you see
I'm in this.
them come off the train.
Yeah, I'm in this weird spot where, obviously, I'm over the moon excited for the game, but I'm not like. When I see things about it, I'm not like, oh my God, I can't wait. And I think that's just because so far what I've seen is just what I already assumed was going to be in the game, just prettier. I'm more excited about the things I don't know about the game, considering this is like a full-fledged game. And we already saw from that other trailer that there's definitely going to be a couple characters added to it that we've never met before. So I'm more curious about what they're changing, what's going to be different. But so far, everything I've seen, for the most part, has just been what I already assumed was going to be in the game.
Yeah, because they've just been showing us like the big splashes and punches of the boss fights in the intro, which is all exciting. But to me, and I'm sure this is important to you and a lot of people that play RPGs, is like the exploration and the discovering new things and kind of like learning about the world and
how open is Midgard
yeah,
gonna be?
like finding secret treasure chests and talking to people and kind of leveling up. So all that kind of world building stuff, they really haven't shown at all.
I wonder what the so in the original FF7, you got items out of like these weird like little they kind of look like futuristic briefcases. I wonder what those are going to look like.
I want to see the house that attacks you.
Oh yeah, that house that turns into the monster. Yeah,
because I remember because when I was playing it, Final Fantasy X I think was already out, so the graphics were better, but not amazing, but still was like I want to see if they ever remake Final Fantasy VII, what would this particular character look like? So, like, doesn't it have like eyes?
Is that what you're
with
most
windows?
excited for?
No, I'm just curious. I remember playing it and being
find out in a
like,
couple
I
months.
cannot wait
Yeah.
to see this ridiculous house. And it was near like a train station, right? Or a
No,
train
it was
yard?
it was between.
It's in the slums, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was in the
Yeah,
slums. It was
slums, okay.
in that like weird kind of construction area near the swings, near the playground
Yeah.
that you fought him.
It'd be funny if you saw like a family on the side watching TV.
That was actually that house monster.
It's your own house. Like,
That was one of the fights that would freeze my original PS1. I really wasn't able to complete FF7 until I got my PS2 because the PS2 ran the discs better. The PS1, it kept like, it's not like there was like an obnoxious amount of like scratches or anything, but it kept freezing the game.
That sucks.
So Matt, what were your thoughts on all this news, like the demo and seeing the intro and stuff like that?
I don't know. I kind of feel like you, where it's like I don't know what to think. Like none of these are really super exciting for me because I already kind of got that excitement from the first initial release.
Yeah.
This is all stuff I know. Like I know how this game's gonna play the first 30 minutes. I'm gonna enjoy it, but like I don't need to see the first 30 minutes because I know it. The only real questions I have are how much of this game is in this first episode. I'm kind of scared of. How is the combat? Because I'm getting more concerned about the kind of action combat just because I was so disappointed by 15.
Yeah, that's
and
what I was
did not
gonna
enjoy
ask
Kingdom
you.
Hearts. Like I enjoy RPGs that have that kind of turn-based, but if they could just speed it up somehow. So I'm kind of worried about that. Outside of that, like I really don't.
well, they did say that there's 2 different fight modes, correct?
Oh, you can,
Yes,
yeah,
there's-
can't you switch it?
You can switch it to wait, but I don't know how good that's going to be if it's because that seems.
but at least you
Maybe
have
I'm
that
being
option.
unfair, but it almost seems like an afterthought. Like this is how we want to play the game, the action mode, and then like we have a wait mode for people that just can't stand it.
Yeah, so you at
And
that point
it
you'd
is
be able-
like a little like 15 where, because I remember in one of the demos, Tifa and Barrett were just doing their own thing and you were cloud fighting. So it's like, yeah, is it going to be more like, I hope it's going to be a little bit of that. I felt the same way as you did about the 15 combat, where it's just like, I felt like I was button mashing. It kind of got boring. I didn't feel
Yeah.
like, I like to be more tactful. So
Yeah, especially when I'm playing RPGs.
but yeah, I'm assuming that this demo and this whole thing, as much as it's giving us the fans like a little look at it, I think it's probably also to bring in some fresh blood into the thing as well. Like give everyone a demo of what it's going to be.
Yeah, because I wonder if they're trying to get people into this that maybe aren't into RPGs with that kind of more action focus.
Oh, absolutely.
So I would imagine they're just kind of get those kind of, I don't know if there's a better way to say, just like more casual players that don't play those.
Well, there's also a lot of people like Dan who prefer more of an action combat. They find turn-based to be a little boring, and they want a little flavor. And yeah, I definitely get that. As long as it's fun. Like I don't care what they do for the combat, as long as it's fun and I enjoy it. I don't want to just be button mashing the entire time. But game looks gorgeous, right, Dan? Dan's watching the demo right now, live.
yeah,
I'm
it does look good.
just like I can easily see how they can make 60 hours of Midgar, of how huge it is.
Hopefully they make it like wide open, like you can go wherever you want.
Yeah, I can
like
as-
cities and like
Oh, yeah.
I just as it spanned out, I was like, oh, it's kind of
There is 8 sectors, then we only got to explore like a couple of them in the original game.
yeah.
So maybe at that point they expand it out a little bit. Maybe
Yeah.
you help people out. So I can easily see how, and I'm wondering where this will end. Like at what point? Because I think that would also make it more interesting. There's a lot of characters that end up dying in like the first game, and it's like, oh, that could have been a really good bad guy. And in this one, I feel like if this is 3 games, which some people have been saying they think it's going to be 3.
I think that's just the assumption.
Yeah.
I think it's just the assumption because the original game had 3 discs.
But either way, I
Yeah.
feel like when a bad guy survives and makes it to the next game, it kind of, I don't know, it kind of makes him feel stronger and like just when you like I'm gonna beat you, and then you go to the end of the game and you just beat him. I like the fact that
Like kind of a trilogy, like you're Darth Vader, this grand.
yeah, and he just doesn't
episodic
get
thing.
killed, and
I
finally
mean,
in the end,
I sort of just assumed it was going to end at the end of Midgar, like when you're about to leave the city.
Yeah, they might have to make
when
like
do
a
they
more
go to the
grandiose boss
Shinra Tower?
exit though.
That's in Midgar.
that's in the first part.
Yeah.
So that all right. So at that point, you probably will see.
I mean,
Sephiroth
most
at
of the
one
game
point.
I feel like happened in the first disc. So you can't cut it off at the end of the first disc if you're thinking of that whole story. But if they could make Midgar into like this huge open world in and of itself, I feel like that could be a full game.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
and this is I'm about to go into a bit of spoiler talk for the original game. So if you don't want to hear this, don't listen in. You were saying certain people die or don't die. The only person who died in that like first Midgar part was really just the president. He didn't really do anything in the grand scheme of things because then his son took over.
Oh, the fat guy, fatter.
The President Shinra, and then his son Rufus took over.
Blonde guy, took over.
Other than that, Jesse, Biggs, and Wedge died. 2 of those are Star Wars characters, which I always thought was funny. Biggs and Wedge were Star Wars side characters.
Wedge was a character in Final Fantasy X for Blitzball.
Yeah, they're in like all the Final Fantasy.
I didn't know that.
Kind of like the Sid thing. Yeah, Biggs and Wedge were both X-wing pilots.
Yeah, Biggs too. Yeah,
in the first Star Wars movie.
Oh, that's funny.
So yeah, that's kind of funny. But not a lot of people really died in that first like Midgar.
Well, maybe they could
part,
change
but that is kind of like to what you were saying. Kind of again comparing it to Star Wars, you were saying kind of like maybe like how 4, 5, and 6 were for Star Wars. You could end this with the whole like, oh my god, Sephiroth's still alive, because you can go into maybe a bit of his backstory, a bit of the Crisis Core stuff in the first part of the remake, and then at the end be like, oh my god, Rufus is taking over. Sephiroth's still alive. We escaped on the motorcycle. Like I feel like that's a pretty epic way to end the first part if this is a trilogy,
Oh, absolutely.
But they do have to expand Midgar out enough to make it a full-fledged game.
Absolutely. And I mean, it would be even nice if you could get a little out of Midgar, maybe, and then just start it from there.
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer that, again, one of the things I loved about this PlayStation Final Fantasies was going to the open world and exploring. Potentially, we won't have any of that in this first game.
Well, yeah, but they might turn Midgar itself into an open world, though.
So it looks like I said, when they just did that pan out of Midgar and all the streets and how they were connected, and I saw them walking through the streets in another demo.
Like, what if you can actually like take the subway places and go around Midgar and actually explore all the places that we didn't see in the first one? I mean,
73
again,
gigs
this is just
worth?
speculation.
Well, 73 gigs worth. I mean, it's not going to be a tiny little place. It's going to be freaking massive.
Or they are opening it up.
That'd be nice if there was like almost Witcher 3 level side quests with new characters that have you go through kind of like a 2 or 3 hour story. That'd be. That's probably maybe hoping for too much, but
what's
I guess
the next
it's
town
possible.
that you go to after that?
Well, it opens up into the big world, and then you go to this like little I want to something Heim.
You go to the Chocobo. Don't you go to the Chocobo bar?
Before
and then you
that, before that, you go to the little town, and Cloud explains the entire backstory.
His like where he grew up,
Sephiroth, and like where he grew up and all that stuff. So you're in there just to kind of like collect items and do that, and then you go to the Chocobo, and then you go through. Once you get the Chocobo, you go through the fog, go through the cave. And then I think that's when you go to Cloud's original hometown for the first time. Is past that part, maybe.
I don't. I've played.
It's getting a little foggy.
It's getting foggy because
Can you tell I've beaten it?
I haven't played
times?
it since before 2015 when they announced it. I swore off playing it again to wait for this.
I have not. I've been wanting to try it, but I was like, I don't remember a lot of the game, so I'm very excited to go back and play it. And I'm trying to avoid all gameplay that I possibly can. I am going to try to play the demo just because I want to understand the mechanics of it and I want to be good at it.
Yeah, I mean, I more or less have I haven't seen any of the trailers more than like once, to be honest, except for that first one that came out.
There's like an hour and a half of like gameplay of like different sections, and it's I don't want to know that.
Like
I kind of want to
Japanese,
experience this. I just want to experience this all at once, just because this was one of the very few games that kind of left me like, what, like at the end, for the entire game. Yeah. Way ahead of its time.
And I've played it so many times that it's hard for me not to remember everything about the game, because I remember pretty much all of it.
Yeah, but that might be the exciting part for you, is those subtle changes. You'll know that. I won't. Yeah. I'm not going to remember that. I'll be like, oh, did that guy die? Oh, whoops, I didn't remember.
That's actually something I'm struggling with. Like, I don't know. What do you guys think about, is this a time where people that are listening to this would want to play through that first one again to get an idea, so that then when they go to it, they can see all the differences and see all the growth? Or do you think you should go into it blind and like kind of see it almost?
I feel like someone will do a video of like the differences.
If there's someone who's either A, not played it since the 90s, or B, never played it at all, I feel like it's better just to go in blind. But for all the hardcore fans, like if I think it's good to get a refresher. Like even me, who knows everything about it, has restarted the game both on the PS4 and the Switch because I'm insane.
Yeah, or maybe just to like play through Midgar, which wouldn't take as long to see.
It really does.
Playing
through Midgar, like it's surprising. Like when I was a kid, I always have this memory of it being like a very huge piece of the game. But then you play it now, it's like, oh, that was only like 2-3 hours, the entirety of Midgar, which we're speculating is all of the first part of the remake. So it's funny that they're taking like 2 to 3 hours and turning it into this like.
I wonder if they're teasing a little bit more. I'm wondering if you're going to be able to go out into the next area after that.
Well, the next area after that was opening up the entire world. Now, technically it was a little less than that because they kept kind of making it so you needed certain vehicles and certain things to get to kind of the next part. In order to get to the next area, you needed a chocobo. You need kind of this broken down plane or something like that to get to the buggy, and then eventually you get the high wind in the end. You can go anywhere. So I don't know. They might. I'm kind of hoping it's just Midgard, because to me that means, oh my god, if they can turn that small portion into this big, that means the rest of the game is going to be even more big, and I just want more Final Fantasy VII.
I mean, Final Fantasy 15 was able to make huge open plains, and then at that point, you would have to believe that with Final Fantasy 15 succeeding and finally being able to ride your chocobo around and attack and everything, that you would be able to do this in this game. With your squad, get a bunch of them run around, but
should be pretty fun. Can't wait. It's good that it's actually happening. It doesn't seem like it's going to get pushed back or anything like that any longer than it already has. Oh yeah, shush. They'll hear me.
They will.
Other big news that just dropped today. I had already shared this on the Facebook page. Is that the PlayStation 4 free games for, I'm assuming, January. Were announced. It's going to be the Uncharted Nathan Drake collection and Goat Simulator. Two very stark contrast games from one another. I've never played through any of the Uncharteds.
Oh,
skip the first one.
No, the first one's good. I mean, it's not as good as the other ones. The first one. It's not as good as the other ones, but it's not bad.
Did you not like going back to it, or you didn't like it the first time?
No, it's clunky. I played it on PlayStation 3, and then I went back and played it on this one. It's clunky. I skipped it, went right to 2. Nothing drastic happens.
No, what I'm saying is the first time you played the first game, did you feel like it was clunky? You enjoyed it enough to play the next one,
Well, it was one of those games that did platforming puzzles pretty well.
Yeah. Now, do you mean it's just the original, going back to the original is clunky, or just the remake of it for the PS4 is clunky?
No. The first one is different. Yeah. The second one was when they finally really made it very, very playable, and especially it's basically a very, very end of the PlayStation 3 era game with updated graphics.
See, I don't mind that, though, because I feel like I would have a better appreciation of 2 if I knew where it came from and how many changes they made to it. Now, if it's going to be like Assassin's Creed 1 frustrating...
No, I mean, I played it kind of recently. I played it last year, and I enjoyed playing through all of them from start to finish, so I don't think you'll have too much of a problem. They're also not terribly long games. It's going to be 8 or 9 hours, so... You're not going to be stuck for a month and a half playing this.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to.
And it's a puzzle. It's a puzzle game. A lot of them are puzzles.
I do like puzzles.
Yeah, they're not extremely difficult, but
that should be my nickname, the Puzzle Master.
The Puzzle Master.
I'm just gonna have a new nickname for every show,
every episode.
Matt, I need to know your new nickname by the end of the episode. By the way,
I don't have time to think about it.
You've plenty of time. You're on your phone right now.
I'm trying to figure out stuff to say. I'm panicking. I got.
You excited to play the Goat Simulator?
I'm all out of wit. I've never played it, so I might play it for 2 minutes. But that doesn't look like a game that's.
It's kind of just one of those dumb games.
It's like a joke.
It is a joke.
It's a video game joke. So I'll play the first 2 minutes, get the joke, and then move on.
I mean, it can't be any worse or better than that Narwhal game you tried to force me to play. What was that game called?
What?
I don't know, but it was free on PS Plus, so I had to play it.
It was a garbage game. You're 2 narwhals and you're sword fighting or something like that. It was actually kind of funny.
You're just floating through space.
There's a game that just came out recently. It's called Risk of Rain 2. I'm very interested in playing that for the Switch. But I'm not sure exactly what it is. It looks like a third person, open world, kind of in space game. And I was like, oh, this looks cool.
So these games for January really mean nothing to both of you, because you both have already played through all of the Uncharted games.
Yeah, video games from the PS Plus games almost never mean anything to me, because they're just games I've already played or games I don't care about at all.
For me,
games I probably
bangers.
own.
Because for me, it's been Metal Gear Solid 5. Haven't played that yet. Uncharted collection, Nathan Drake collection. Cool. Never played through them.
That's the curse when you buy every game you want. It's these free games are nothing.
I was poor for so long that these PlayStation Plus games are really helping me out. Ghost Simulator is just some dumb thing that I'm going to play for 5 minutes.
Question: Xbox Game Pass. You get to keep those after?
No.
You don't?
I don't.
Excuse me, not Game Pass. Xbox free games with gold, you keep those.
Yes.
PlayStation Plus, you need to have Plus to play them.
Shoot, I need to start downloading that now that we have the Xbox Live for a few months.
Yeah, but I mean, you're only gonna get those few months of games. It's not like I still have Dark Souls that I downloaded when I had back in the day when I had Xbox Live. That's still playable, but I don't even know what the Xbox
I'll check it.
Live games are for January.
I don't remember caring about them unless I'm thinking of December's games.
Maybe.
So you guys gonna get this $180 Resident Evil 3 Collector's Edition?
Yes.
Of course you are.
Well, I got the Leon one, so I need the
For Resident Evil 2?
Yeah.
Who's this? Is it Claire?
It's Claire.
Yo, that was a complete guess.
That was a good guess.
Because I'm like, I never
no,
played.
it's Jill.
It's Jill Valentine.
Shit.
Haha.
Claire was from Resident Evil 2, right?
You're right.
Yeah.
Fuck.
But yeah, it's a Claire figure, a box, like a map, a soundtrack, and a art book.
Yeah,
or
it's
something.
exactly what the other one was.
Oh my god. Soundtrack, is it
mean-
just going to be like the Dead Space soundtrack that I got where it's just like violins playing in the background during scary moments?
Yeah, it sounds kind of cool. But I don't know. I just don't think it's worth 180 unless you're really into that figure because that's where probably most of the money's going into.
That's what I'm looking at. So I found the games for gold for January. It is for the Xbox. It's Styx, Shards of Darkness, Batman the Telltale series, Tekken 6, and Lego Star Wars 2, the original trilogy.
Yeah, the only one I would
Batman.
be interested in is the Batman one, but
Yeah,
I already got
Batman.
it for PlayStation Plus.
Oh, I
a
don't
while
have
back.
that one. So,
Lame.
yeah, that's
So yeah, the collector's edition is nice if you're really into. I know Dan's really into Resident Evil 3 and everything like that. The statue's nice. Is that like a case that you can put stuff in, or
Just like a box, basically.
you get a box, Dan?
I love boxes. Yeah, that sold out though. That was released about a month ago, but I don't know if it's back in stock.
Yeah, I'm already tapped out for collector's editions. There's the Cyberpunk one that I am still kind of on the fence of whether or not I'm keeping it or not. And then there's the Final Fantasy VII Remake collector's edition that I have to pay for in a couple weeks. They're going to ask for the money now.
Yeah, the only thing that ever usually gets me with those like editions is when they have kind of in-game content or stuff, which this doesn't have any, although there is like a pre-order bonus for like costumes, for the classic costumes. So I'll probably make sure I pre-order it just so I can get like the old school style Resident Evil 3 costumes when I get it because I'm going to buy it anyway.
Yeah.
But just a heads up if anyone's interested in buying it.
I see the pre-order thing right there for the classic costumes.
Yeah. Might as well.
So you currently have not secured this collector's edition.
No, but I did the same thing with Resident Evil 2 towards the end because GameStop doesn't allow you to pay like when you do it online only like $20. They make you pay it full up front and take it, and then the game
When's it coming out?
comes out April.
Oh, so that's still a while
Yeah,
away.
so I don't like to drop because, like I said, I have Cyberpunk. I think I'm gonna take that back and just get the Steelbook one.
Oh, I thought you already did.
No, I'm going to. Just because Cyberpunk I will like, but it won't be my favorite like game. It'll
Really? With how much you loved Witcher? You don't think that you're going to like
but it
Cyberpunk
just-
the most?
Yeah, but first-person RPGs, I don't tend to have that connection that I do with like a third
Oh, it's the
person.
first-person thing?
Yeah, like I just I love the third-person aspect that I kind of get a connection with the character, and I understand they want you to feel like the character, but I usually like to have a connection with the actual character as third person.
No, I can understand that because you're seeing the character all the time.
Yeah, and I mean it could be different, but I just it's also kind of a we talked about it. It's just a motorcycle that's crashing and the guy's jumping out.
I would have preferred to have a more pristine motorcycle that wasn't crashing without the dumb guy.
I think it would have been neat if they had the motorcycle and the guy like leaning on it with like a gun or something.
Yeah, which you just described the Final Fantasy VII statue. Basically, it's Cloud on the motorcycle, like with a sword.
Yeah. Well, isn't that like a action figure?
So
plus
it's
the
made by
bike?
PlayArts Kai.
Yeah.
They're known for doing. They did the nicer versions of the Halo Reach figures. I actually have George from Halo Reach PlayArts Kai figure. They're very articulated, very nice figures. When it comes to like something like that's nice because I can kind of pose them in the way I want, and they're like some of the more high quality figures. But at the same time, I kind of would have preferred just a statue.
Yeah. That's why I wasn't. That
But I was
interested.
still hands down getting that no matter what. I was completely in it. My only the only unfortunate thing is there's a GameStop pre-order bonus I'm not gonna get unless I decide to pre-order
Oh, you know what you do? You
on GameStop.
just
I could just pre-order it, get the thing, and then sell the game afterwards. But it comes with like a key card for the Shinra building. Is it Shinra or I've always said Shinra.
Shinra. I've always said Shinra.
Okay.
That's what I say.
But no, I would just go into GameStop and be like, hey, I pre-ordered it, but I didn't get it when I received my game, and they'll be like, oh, okay.
Maybe you have more pull than I do at GameStop.
Oh, I'll ask him. Like I said, those Link's Awakening posters, they had like a stack of them, and I was like, can I get another one?
Oh yeah, Dan got me that Link's Awakening poster.
Oh, did you want another one of those? Oh, okay. Sorry, I know he likes posters. I don't know if you did.
That was months ago. I'm sure they don't have any anymore, do they?
Yeah, you'd be like I said. Every now and then he threw a Crash Bandicoot car smell thing at me. He was like, "Here, take this," and I was like, "All right."
Car smell
Hooray.
thing.
Whatever the
Air freshener.
air freshener thing. But it's got Crash's face.
You got
on
the
it.
world by your fingertips, Dan.
So I remembered to do this month. Right here,
let's
I
take a
have
wander.
right here, I have the pretty short list of games that are coming out in January.
Yeah, it's a drought till Final Fantasy.
I think there was one I was interested in.
Game Informers. I got this from the Game Informer list just because I like that their list is very well organized, but they still had Crystal Chronicles on the list. I took it out because that was definitely pushed back until summer.
Yeah, vague summertime.
So for now, there's one of these games. I can't say that I'm gonna buy it or anything, but I'm definitely interested to see what it's like. So first there's Yakuza Like a Dragon, a PS4 exclusive. There's Dragon Ball Z Kakarot for everything.
What is that?
It's
an
RPG. It's an open world RPG with Dragon Ball Z.
Really?
Yes.
Because I'm sick of the Dragon Ball fighters.
Yes, which is basically most. Oh, well, let me get through the list.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Tokyo Mirage Sessions #FE Switch exclusive. Mega Man Zero /ZX Legacy Collection for everything. Moons of Madness for PS4 and Xbox One. Oddworld Stranger's Wrath HD. I'm assuming that's a remake if they have HD in the title.
Yeah, that
was
a
Switch exclusive.
That was the one that the guy from the Xbox that he had that can of soda or something. Oh, Odyssey.
No, I don't remember.
He looked kind of like a. I don't know.
Rugby 20.
Woohoo!
Who cares? I'm sure people who play rugby here. That's out for everything. Journey to the Savage Planet for Xbox One and PC.
That actually looks interesting.
Pillars of Eternity 2, Deadfire for PS4 and Xbox. And Through the Darkness of Times for PC only. Most of these I'm just hearing of for the first time now. But yeah, going back to Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. So my issue with every Dragon Ball Z game ever is it's really just been cut and paste. Like, you had Dragon Ball Z, the anime and the manga, and you had the story, and then they just kind of kept coming out with more and more DBZ games that they must sell well if they keep coming out with them, but it's always the same story. There's never really anything different. They started out with the Budokai series, which was just fighter games, and then they went to the Budokai Tenkaichi series, which was more of a I would say a little more open with fighting in between, but it was really just like linear paths followed by fighting from what I remember of it. Then they had the recent Dragon Ball Fighter Z, which that was a little different. That was a straight fighter game, but it was different because they were somehow able to almost shot for shot mimic what it looks like in the anime, which to me on a technical perspective was just very impressive. Then they have this Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, which again is just Dragon Ball Z, the story of Goku and everything like that, but it is open world as far as I saw, and you could there's like side missions and stuff like that. It looks really cool. I am very interested to see what the user and critic ratings are for it. Unfortunately, critic ratings seem to always tend to go very high, and user ratings tend to be a lot of fake ratings, so it's kind of hard for me to disseminate from that what it's going to be like. But I feel like if there's no controversy surrounding a game, the user scores are usually pretty legit.
Yeah, I wonder because I've never gotten into Dragon Ball Z, and it seems like something that's almost overwhelming at this point because there's so many years of history and games and animes and shows. It would be like, all right, you got to sit in a room for the next 7 months to catch up to what's happening in this world.
No, I disagree completely. I feel like DBZ had a story. It was in the anime. If you know that story, you don't have to play any of the previous games. And you don't even have to, if you've never watched the anime, just play this game and see through it with fresh eyes because it's basically going to be the same story as the anime, I presume.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll check it out.
No,
it looks neat. I was just sick of the Budokai ones, just the fighters, and I just wanted something different.
That was a long time ago. Or do they still make those, the Budokai series?
They change them now to I don't know all these crazy names, but it used to be Budokai. And
Yeah,
then, but the only just like fighters, like one-on-one. But
yeah,
depending on how the combat is, that might be something interesting.
I will say the Budokai series was at least interesting because it was 1v1 in a 3D space, which was kind of cool. It wasn't like when I say in 3D space, I don't mean like Soul Calibur where you could sidestep. I mean you could fly around and fight. That's what the Budokai.
Like Dissidia for the PlayStation 4, the new one.
Yeah. It was a lot like Dissidia. But again, the Budokai series didn't change ever. The Fighters Z or Fighters, I don't know what it's called. That was the only one that was like a legitimate like 1v1 kind of a side V-side a la Street Fighter kind of fighting game. But that was actually, even though that is what we're used to with fighting games, for the Dragon Ball Z series, that was actually the outlier. That was the big difference, is that most of them were in 3D space. This one was kind of a side v side, and I was only interested in it just because I wanted to look at the pretty animation, to be honest. This is trying to think if they've ever done anything like this, DBZ. I don't want to talk about DBZ for an hour, but I don't think they've ever done anything like this with like an RPG elements. The closest I've ever seen is there used to be this thing you could go to online. I think it was Dream Maker or something, where you could make your own games. I used to play this. Basically, anybody could just make their own games and post it, and they were all online. There was a DBZ one; it was all sprite based. There was a Yu-Gi-Oh one that I would play, and there was a DBZ one that someone made that I would play a lot. And you could go around, you could fight each other or train and stuff like that. It was really fun. I feel like DBZ could have been like a really good open world game, or a really good MMO.
January something. January 17th.
Oh, that's pretty soon.
They used to make one, and it was called. It was what? So,
I just got a Discord notification that Dan accepted my friend request that I probably sent him back in March of 2019.
Oh, you finally made it. You guys are friends now.
But they made one a while back for the Game Boy Advance, and it was called Dragon Ball Z Legacy of Goku.
Yes, I played that.
And that was kind of like a top-down, like walk around kind of thing.
It was kind of a top-down RPG.
Yeah. So there was that. But
I didn't make it very far in that one. I kept dying.
Neither did I.
That was also one of the first times I ever saw them take cartoon animation and put it onto a Game Boy Advance cartridge. Because I know you could watch episodes of TV shows on Game Boy Advance, but that Goku game started out with like kind of scenes from the cartoon, which I thought was pretty cool, even though they were like super compressed down to like 120p, 240p, something like that. It was like...
Hey, it was something. It was something for the time.
But yeah, I did have that for the Game Boy Advance. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, it was a fun game.
So you said... What one did you say was going to be cool? Pillars of Eternity 2?
No, the Salvage one.
Journey to the Savage Planet?
Savage Planet, yes. That one...
An Xbox One and PC exclusive.
Oh.
So it's probably made by Microsoft.
Yeah, it's a first person, but it has like similar graphics to like what Outer Worlds has. Journey to the Savage, but it's more like a No Man's Sky type of thing. It's more like a salvage, or like try and stay alive or survival kind of game.
Staying alive.
Yeah, a little bit like that.
Don't you dare look at me with that tone, Matt.
I know.
Any of these besides the Dragon Ball Z one sticking out to you, Matt?
No, not really.
No.
Just waiting for FF7.
Journey to the
That's not coming out until March. Is there nothing you're buying between now and then?
What did I just let you
backlogging.
borrow?
I'm playing World of Final Fantasy. After that, I'm going to play. Dan was gracious enough to give me Lost Odyssey for 360, so I'm going to play through another RPG. That'll take me a while, and then we'll see where I go from there.
You can go to howlongtobeat.com and check that out. It's probably like 68, 70 hours.
I am definitely interested in the DBZ game at the very least.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what the scores are. I'm interested to see the fight, like the combat, because I don't want it to be...
I'm assuming the combat is going to be a lot like the Budokai series, except less restrictive. Like Budokai series, even though it was in like a 3D space, you were still locked on to the target at all times. But I think it's going to be a little more free roaming than that.
I would hope so. Obviously there'll be some on the ground, and then there'll be some,
I don't even know who's making it, to be honest.
I don't know either.
I feel like Square Enix was involved. So Kotaku released an article recently that I thought was really interesting. It's the 5 worst games of 2019 based on solely the Metacritic score.
Oh, okay.
So I only know one of these games, so this was pretty funny. Number 5 was Dollhouse with a score of 41.
Okay.
Number 4 was
Contra Rogue Corps with a score of 40.
Yep.
Yeah, I've heard that was awful.
The only one I knew.
Oh, okay.
Number 3 was Blades of Time for the Switch with a score of 38.
Nice.
Number 2 was Left Alive for the PS4.
I own that.
Score of 37.
Yeah, it was a clunky mess. They tried to make it like Metal Gear, except it's just ugh.
Number 1 was Eternity: The Last Unicorn for the PS4.
Score of 36.
That's fun. I like unicorns.
Yeah, so I just thought that was really cool. Just wanted to throw that out there that was funny. That those are like the worst games. Anything else you guys want to bring to the table?
No, I think I'm good. I'm excited to keep playing Outer Worlds and see where it goes from there.
Bluepoint has another stupid cryptic
Oh my
tweet, and I'm
God.
sick of this game company. They've officially turned from like, oh, this cute little game company that might be making a game I like, to this annoying, obnoxious, pretentious company that just tweets gibberish to get people tweeting about them.
It is all a marketing move at this point.
And a
isn't it?
success.
Yeah, I mean, this one seems to point, like Dan was saying in the Discord, it seems like it's kind of Metal Gear Solid-y. Like, it talks about being wrapped in boxes and exclamations at the site.
Was that Metal Gear?
Which sounds like Metal Gear. It doesn't sound anything like Legend of Dragoon, which I no longer have any. I no longer have any faith that they're making that game. And
Yeah, but have you scrolled down and see the comments? It's like Legend of
every
Dragoon.
comment is Legend of Dragoon. A Legend of Dragoon? Are you gonna make Legend of Dragoon? Are you gonna announce
Yeah.
this?
The whole thing scrolls down.
What's the rest of it? Any other?
It's mostly Metal Gear.
It's like
stuff.
the tweet is mostly Metal Gear stuff. The comments are all Legend of Dragoon and then like 10% Dark Souls.
So is it safe?
They're making.
Should we
two-
assume that they are remaking every game they've alluded to, which is like 20 games?
I think
they have I think they have a contract, and right now they're working on 2 games. They've confirmed. So that's why I was betting that one of them was Metal Gear, because they said this was like they were going to be super proud of this one, blah blah blah, and obviously taking on Kojima's work would be something that
I love Metal Gear. Who needs a remake of a Metal Gear? Like, it's not
of the original one.
They've already done that on GameCube, and it still plays pretty well.
Yeah, but I could see an update on
Weren't
that.
you saying that? I guess a lot of people do not like Twin Snakes for some reason, because that was
Yeah.
fantastic.
I think some people didn't like the change because it was a change of the original. Like some of the voice acting changed a little bit. So
Wow, people are going to hate the FF7 remake.
feel like
They're changing a lot.
Some of the great parts about Metal Gear Solid 1 were the fact that it's like 95% serious and then 5% just crazy nonsense. But I feel like with Twin Snakes, it kind of leaned more towards the crazy nonsense. So it was like a little more jokey and had a much less
Campy.
serious tone.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what I got out of it. Like everything was more exaggerated. Like the kind of like, I don't know, the production of the speeches and the like, the ninja, whatever his name, fighting him, like doing
I
all
love
sorts
that.
of
That
like,
was like one of my favorite moments in the entire series. The music and everything I absolutely loved in that game.
Anything else you guys want to bring to the table?
that was it.
Good.
I have a thing.
Oh god.
Oh God, we don't know.
Andy has.
He has thrown a Game Boy looking box.
Yes, it's definitely not a Game Boy because that would be copyright infringement. This has 4 buttons on the left side. 2 of them are question marks, and then the D-pad's on the right. So my girlfriend for Christmas, one of the stocking stuffers she got me was this. It's a video game trivia. So I'm not turning this into a big production like I do with the Jeopardy, but I thought it'd be kind of neat to take a look at some of these and see how many of them you guys could get. So there's no structure here.
I feel like every few weeks Andy decides to go like, all right, whatever respect our audience has for Dan and Matt, we need to squelch that right now.
A little bit.
Well, see, this is
Like,
easier
make
because
sure they know nothing about what they're talking about. And
to
they
let
can't
you
be
know
trusted.
that they know
So
nothing.
I went through a few of these on my own, and I'm like, oh, these are like, because remember last Jeopardy, I made up the questions and I made them like a little too difficult.
We remember.
Okay, so these were written by some other company, Professor Puzzle,
Ooh, I bet that's not a real guy.
suitable for children above the age of 12 or 12 and up. So, anyways,
Lay it on me. Bring it on.
yeah, we're gonna do the ding system like we do with Jeopardy.
I'm ready for this.
Question. Oh, this is kind of a question for Matt, I guess.
Yeah, it is.
See, you complain, but look at you. You're all jazzed up now. You're ready to go.
Is this for him or is this?
Nope. Whoever dings in first. No points or anything. You guys can keep track of whichever. Because I'm not doing this as a.
Give the card.
Okay,
No,
fine.
we're not.
I wasn't
play
doing
too
this as a
long.
competition.
Yeah, I was
this
gonna
was
do
just
like a
kind
It's
of.
gonna be a competition.
This was kind of if we had extra time. I thought this would be fun.
Okay.
All right, so Question. In the 2006 game, Persona 5, what is the code name of the game's silent protagonist?
Silent protagonist? Oh, Ding. Joker?
Yes. There's 2 questions per card, though.
Thanks for picking that one.
What was the code name for the Kinect during its development? I actually knew this one.
The Xbox Stupid. Was it the Xbox Stupid?
No, you also didn't ding. Was that a real ding?
No.
Okay.
I don't actually think it was called the Xbox
I actually knew this one.
Internally,
which
they
was
just called it the Xbox Stupid.
That'd be funny if they actually did this.
This is so stupid.
All right, so the
Why are
answer
we
is
doing
Project Natal.
Oh, damn it. We did a project. We were doing work on that.
this? Don't
remember?
act like you almost had that.
I did. We did a project
Project
in
Natal?
Westfield.
That wouldn't have been
knew
your
it.
first 10,000 guesses.
In 1995, full motion. No one's gonna get that. Oh,
Who wrote these? Andy?
I think so.
ouch! Unnecessary personal shot fired. Which home console was the first to contain a Blu-ray disc player?
Blu-ray
Ding.
disc player.
PlayStation 3?
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
that was an easy one.
Yeah, it was. I just needed a second, okay?
Just keep track of how many you get right. 'Cause there's 2 questions per card, so we can't do that, Dan.
I'm not competing with you. This is just fun time,
Yeah.
okay? We're
Which
just having some
opponent
fun.
must Sora face in the platinum match of the Olympus Coliseum in Kingdom Hearts?
Ding. Sephiroth.
Yes. Which console was sold using the advertising slogan "Jump In"?
Ding. Xbox. 360.
See, if I didn't look at you, you weren't going to say that.
I had no idea what that
The
was.
Kingdom of Hollow Nest is the setting of which video game?
I have no idea what that is. I mean, all I can think of is
heard of
Ding
it.
Hollow Knight, but
Correct.
yes.
Nice.
Just because it's
Released in 1993, which home console was the last to be released by the Atari?
Ding. Atari 2600?
Incorrect.
Damn it.
You lose an imaginary point. The correct answer was Atari Jaguar.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I thought that was earlier.
Earlier than the 2600.
I don't know what that is. Which Sega console was the successor of the Mega Drive? It's kind of a short question, I feel, but
Ding Sega Saturn?
yeah.
Damn it.
In Conker's Bad Fur Day, what is the name of Conker's girlfriend? I've played that game.
I didn't
and
have an
wouldn't have got
N64,
this.
so I never even
I never played
It was
it.
Barry. I have played through that game and I wouldn't have gotten that. Which company produced the Telstar series of consoles in the late 1970s? This is kind of just a cool trivia thing. It was Coleco.
Oh, ColecoVision.
Yeah. The Typhon are a hostile alien race in which video game?
I want to say Ding Mass Effect.
No. Dan's taking too much time. It's Prey.
Ah,
What is the first Nintendo console to have HD support?
Prey is such an overrated game.
Which one? The one for
Sick-
Xbox 360? Or
Yeah,
the
I'm
one...
sick of people praising it.
360 or
Whatever the one is everyone loves with the like black monsters.
there's one for the newest console that you're on like a spaceship.
Yeah.
I actually like that one.
Well, you and everyone else are dead wrong. Move on to
Thank you. Please repeat the question.
What was the first Nintendo console to have HD support?
Ding. The Nintendo Wii.
No.
Ding, Xbox 360. Wait, what was the question?
Nintendo.
What was the first Nintendo console to have HD support?
Oh, I was only half listening.
Oh.
It's the Wii U. So technically, you could get an
the Wii U-
component cables for
Yeah.
the Wii, but it didn't have HD. It was still playing in standard definition.
Oh.
Playable character Ethan Thomas works for the FBI serial crime unit in which game series? It's condemned.
Oh.
Was that the answer you were going to give?
No.
Sorry. I didn't think you knew the console.
I thought it was Heavy Rain.
For which console re-release... Oh, this is a cool question. For which console re-release was the game Star Fox 2 finally released in 2017?
Ding.
SNES Classic.
Yes.
Everyone knows that.
Which Batman supervillain attacks and incapacitates.
Incapacitated.
What villain incapacitated? Which Batman supervillain attacks and incapacitates Scarecrow in the sewers of the 2009 game Batman Arkham Asylum? Supervillain in the sewers. Only
Ding.
Yeah, go on.
Who is Crocodile?
Close. First of all, it's not Jeopardy. We don't know.
Oh, right.
Who is? Thank you for finally remembering that. Answer is Killer Croc.
Okay.
In what year did the Nintendo Wii launch?
Ding. 2007.
Incorrect.
2009.
Incorrect. The Wii?
Dude, I don't know. It's 2019. A lot of things have happened.
Is it 2006?
It is.
I'll take that point.
Which console released worldwide was the first to include a built-in modem for online gaming?
Ding. Dreamcast?
Yes.
Wow, nice.
Fantasy Star.
Nah, you guys won't know that. Oh, released in 2001, the large original Xbox controller went by the nickname.
Ding. The Duke.
Oh,
Yes.
damn it.
I didn't know that.
I just bought the wired one because it was like...
The setting of which game is Whispering Rock Psychic Summer Camp? I knew this one.
Ding. Animal Crossing?
No, Psychonauts.
Oh.
What are the controllers for the Nintendo Switch called? Oh, everybody knows that.
Ding.
Yeah,
Joy-Cons. Yay.
That's not a real question.
It wasn't even worth a ding.
I got the ding.
What color was the original Game Boy that was released in 1989?
Ding. Gray.
That's correct. I
was like, it's not?
no, I didn't even bother.
They made one in black, which I thought was cool. It's super rare.
What is the name of the service on the Nintendo Wii, Wii U, and 3DS that allows the player to download classic Nintendo video games? Matt, are you giving up? You're not even close to your microphone. Do
I'm here.
you want me to stop this? Are we done?
We could be done.
Okay. Well, what's your final answer, Dan?
Nintendo Store? Or the e-store?
No. Virtual Console.
Oh, shit.
Nintendo Store.
I don't know. PlayStation Store.
Well, anyways, I think these questions are actually pretty good. Like, they're actually, like, not...
Yeah, they're doable.
Terrible.
Yeah,
hard.
except the, in Persona 5. I'm not like...
Okay. I might be using, in a future Jeopardy match, I might be using some of these questions
I think that would just be easier, yeah.
as a catalyst, because there will be another video game Jeopardy. We need the tiebreaker match between you two.
And then I think you two need to go ahead as well.
I just want to...
Someone else would actually have to do the work of coming up with the Jeopardy thing for me to play.
Are you saying I don't do work for this podcast?
I am saying that neither of you have offered to make up a Jeopardy board or questions.
I will...
That's
we
true.
have questions
I
now.
have not done that.
Matt, you could do that. That
Fine.
sounds like something you
Fine.
could do.
I will do that
You do...
for the next
Look, Dan's
episode.
just jumping at the...
Yeah, Dan,
heels.
you already do enough work for the podcast.
I can...
Ouch.
Yeah.
I feel like that's very directed at someone here.
Wow, shots fired.
No, I don't mind making
I'll
the
sit-
Jeopardy
no,
boards.
I'm gonna-
I find it kind of
I'm
fun.
going to make the Jeopardy board for next time. I'm excited about Final
Don't do what I
Fantasy.
did last time. Make the questions like doable, because I
no,
was an
no.
ass last time with the questions. I made the questions so unbelievably hard, and I didn't even realize it.
I need you guys to work together to find out 2 or 3 games that you both love a lot. So Final Fantasy VII will be obviously one of them.
I don't know. How many games have Matt, you and I played that we both like? It's maybe one of the Halos, maybe?
I don't know.
Final Fantasy X, do you both play that? No?
You should just do them not based on specific games.
Yeah, because that's like... I feel like Andy would destroy me.
Even Final Fantasy VII, look how much I remembered about that game.
Yeah, like I just like gloss... My memory's so bad that if I haven't played something in the last like 3 months, I don't know what like who the main character is.
Yeah.
All right. I'll figure something out.
Yeah. You can use these
That works.
trivia things.
That works. I can do
Yeah,
that.
it looks like a Game Boy too. Like you take the cartridge out. And
This is gonna be a big year. We're gonna have new consoles, lots of games.
Yeah, 2020 is gonna be like even if like
Avengers, whatever that is all about. We'll see.
yeah, like even if some of these games turn out to be duds, there's enough coming out this year where we're gonna have something. FF7 Remake, Doom Eternal, Cyberpunk, Animal Crossing,
Resident Evil 3.
Resident Evil 3,
Remake.
2 new consoles, possibly other things we don't know about.
Probably
Maybe a new
Halo. Halo Infinity.
It's gonna be crazy.
It's gonna be
And then
crazy.
probably a ton of crap that isn't announced yet. So.
I'm probably not getting that Xbox day one though. I mean,
Oh,
look,
I'm not gonna get
it
the
took
big
me
one.
until the last year to get an Xbox One. There's no way I'm getting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not as big. Halo doesn't seem like a big system mover for me anymore, and it seems like a lot of the games they're gonna have on PC at the same time. And since I have a PC that can play most of those games, like why not just use the PC if there's any game that I
Yeah.
must play?
Actually, 2020 is going to be the year I probably remake my PC, so I'll probably be able to do the same.
Nice.
My friend Anthony is offering to help me remake it. So it's just moolah I need
Yay,
to
moolah.
make it.
Yeah, they can be expensive.
Yeah, I mean, I have a base for it. The ones he's making are like really super tiny though, but still like twice as powerful as mine. It's crazy.
Ooh, I like to-
So guys, where can people find you?
Matt?
You can find me on Twitter at Matt Talks Games.
I think we discussed last time that you and I were just gonna
Well, you asked.
stop.
You
just,
did.
Just reach me at Manabar Podcast.
You mean reach me at Manabar?
No, I need to start using my Twitter a little more often. I was using it pretty fluidly when we started the podcast, but I've just fallen off. I don't have anything interesting to say.
It's
the
so
Twitter.
exhausting every day. I gotta have hot takes.
No. I'm not
Every
talking-
day you got to take screenshots.
True.
Every day I'm screenshotting.
We'll see.
Dan, where can people find you?
People can find me at Game Review Guy on Twitter, and then you can follow our podcast Twitter.
Whoa.
Well, I control that one. You can take the rest.
You do. That's
All
true.
right. So at Manabar Podcast on Twitter as well.
Just felt like it was, I've been doing it, saying it every time since. I thought it
Well,
was just-
now we're changing it up. Go
Dan-
ahead. You get the rest.
Dan does run the whole Twitter, so it makes more sense for him to say it. But yeah, you can find us Manabar Podcast on Twitter, the Manabar Podcast on Instagram, which Dan pretty much also runs. I post some things there.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
I was going to say, we're mutual on the Instagram.
You can email us at manabarpodcast@gmail.com. You can find me at Hiley and Andy on Twitter, and hopefully soon on Link Between Zeldas, the podcast that I've done 3 episodes of in 1 year. Hopefully I'll do more. I really want to continue that. It's very time consuming trying to do stuff for this podcast and also like make some vain attempt to do a side podcast.
If you want to try and find a way to incorporate it into this, I mean, I'm playing Zelda too, so
No, it's a lot. I go really in depth with my hot takes on like different things. No,
Okay.
it's I really want to try to push that, but with that, this is. What's your nickname, Matt? We're going trophy hunter for now.
I don't know, guy who plays games.
Right now, this is Cranky Pants.
I mean, you spring these pop quizzes on me. You give me homework at the beginning of the podcast to have done by the end of the
Cranky
podcast.
Pants.
I got to keep you on your toes, Matt.
Could you imagine if a teacher was like, "Here's homework, but have it handed in at the end of class. Also, we're gonna have a big lesson plan today." Like, what are you talking about, Andy? I can't do this.
Cranky Pants signing
All
off.
right, Matt. Your homework for the next week is to come up
Okay.
with a better nickname.
That's more reasonable. I have a week when I'm not doing a podcast.
So this is